Okay, well, I'm lucky enough to be joined by two of the Sun's biggest names, Rod McPhee and Flick Cross. Thank you two for joining me today. And we're going to dive into all the biggest TV news and all the movie mayhem taking place currently across the week. And the big topic of today is obviously I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. The three of us are watching it with bated breath every single night. And we're going to dive straight into the last night episode, starting with the Fright Bus taken last night, where every single member of the cast were stuck on that bus with a million things thrown at them. So we'll start with you, Flick, as the self-professed celeb queen. What did you think of that opening scene?
So because I'm a celebrity geek, I was sat there thinking, this must be the most screams per second on I'm a Celebrity ever. I even thought, if I can look back to any other trials where there's been loads of screams and count, and then thought, no, just enjoy this. I thought it was epic. Particularly, I'd enjoyed people like Colleen Rooney.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you think, but I think she's gone in there and she's such a mum. And I say that in the loveliest way possible. It was, I'm getting on with this. This is my task, whatever's happening. And then you compare that with Moira, who is having the absolute shock of her life
Worst
back
birthday.
there, stood up and just sat there squeezed between Talisa screaming and Moira screaming. Was poor Barry just getting on with it, like, I'll do it, I'll get on with this. And that's my favourite thing about I'm a Celebrity, is that you have all of these household names that you think you know, but you don't. Because
That's so true.
Fish out of water, Celebrity and Fright Bus, you just see a whole new different side of them, don't you?
Well, we've actually got the clip for you guys. We'll show you how everyone had a bit of a contrasting reaction to this Fright Bus.
Here as well.
No, there better not be a spider. Don't say
Spider
that.
there.
Oh my God!
It's massive.
Where is it? If I have a spider on me, I'm gonna die.
Where are the tokens?
Fast stopping at Critter Crescent. I think I've weed.
It was so funny. I thought that all roads kind of led back to Moira's birthday. And she just kept saying, it's my birthday, followed by, I think I've just weed my pants. And then we found out after she actually did wee her pants. Rod, if this is your birthday, what are you thinking?
It sounds like the worst birthday ever. And I think my favourite thing about the whole thing was the fact that she kept saying, am I going to get this? Am I going to get that? And everyone was like thinking she was going to get a real treat. It was like the worst birthday ever. But Moira, can I just say, is one of my favourite people on there.
I agree.
Me and Flick disagree on this, but Moira is just, she's so loud and she's slightly coarse, and I mean that in the nicest way. She just shouts and screams and says what she thinks, and I think they're the best people on I'm a Celebrity.
Why do you agree with Rod? I mean, this is going to be a common theme for these two disagreeing, just for everyone to know. But why?
No, she disagrees.
Why do you disagree? Why?
Okay, so when I watch reality telly, which I watch a lot of, I feel like now I have these lenses which come down.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can see when someone is playing their reality character. So Moira, let's face it, she started out on telly on a reality TV programme. She knows how to dial up parts of her personality to get airtime, to be the storyline. And I don't know whether you saw this week, one of her friends from the Love Island world has weighed in on this on Instagram. Olivia Attwood.
Yes.
Arguably another of the Love Island's the biggest, let's say, star from Love Island, essentially saying Moira's copying me. She's using my playbook. This is what she's always done. And once you've got that in your head, I'm sorry everyone that I've ruined this for you. I love her. Every time I've met Moira, she's a sweet girl. She knows what she's doing. She's a pro. But I'm watching it and I'm thinking, you've got a game plan and you're faking.
That reminds me of Big Brother, when it's like, are you being your real self? But what was she like on Love Island?
So same thing, like she'd know when there was a storyline, she'd lean into it. I don't know if you remember, this is going way back, but on her series of Love Island, she had that moment where she and that lad were meant to be going into the hideaway. She walked in on him discussing what was going to happen. He said, let's see if she's all mouth. And she was like,
God.
this is my moment to be a strong, independent woman. And she completely owned it. And it was like one of the biggest moments of the series and one of the things she's most famous for. Now, I don't doubt that Moira is that girl, but she knows what she's doing and she knows when to dial it up. And I'm just seeing little moments of that. And I mean, I don't know what you think, but for me, is that a problem? Do viewers really care if it's good telly?
Yeah, it is hard to know because at the end of the day, you know, you are winning money and you are getting voted off. So if you're not being yourself, then it is actually kind of, you know, not very faithful to the viewer. But I thought she was given such a good storyline by being, you know, one of the kind of intruders, as I would call them, in this kind of like reality show. Because I just thought, like, how do you play that wrong? Her and Reverend coming in, you know, a few days late and having to go into the junkyard and that hilarious kind of thing that they have to put on, that they're having the hardest time ever when they're actually living in. I mean, they keep saying they're living in luxury. That is not my definition of luxury.
A bed.
But what did you think about Rod? Because I just think that ended up being such a funny storyline that both of them did such a good job with.
Oh, it was really clever. And I thought the whole sort of two-tiered camp thing and the fact that one was secret. And I love I love the fact that Colleen Rooney basically found Wagatha 2.
Wagatha.
It's fantastic.
What a storyline.
I mean, I don't think that the producers of that show could have wished for a better outcome. If they'd have planned that, I don't think they could have planned for it to have happened.
I was thinking, like, do you think, I wondered in the moment, did someone else actually maybe have, you know, planted the seed and thought they cracked the case and that producers edited it in such a way?
But
I'm a cynic, obviously.
Maddie, are you saying that they make things happen?
What? I wouldn't dare.
I mean, you didn't have to actually be Agatha Christie to work out what was going on there, but no, that they might have planted that. But look, let's not pretend that this is something more than it is. Even if it was planted, I just thought it was a brilliant moment.
Agreed.
And it's the same thing with Moira. I kind of think to myself, even if she is playing a bit of a game, at least she's entertaining. You know, lots of people on there are their natural, authentic selves, and they're really boring. You know, they sit at the back in their hammock and they're being their authentic, boring selves, and you just think to yourself, oh, they're going to get voted out first or second or third. So, I mean, I say bring on the fakery as long as it's interesting. As long as it's funny.
I agree. You kind of need to amp up your personality because there's so much of the day that's obviously, I mean, you told me, because you're the celeb queen, as you told me before, is that every 24 hours it's filmed. So how much of that is obviously like 45 minutes to an hour is actually getting airtime.
Exactly.
So it's almost like you need to overcompensate for that hour to be making sure that you're getting these viewers to look at you. But what did you, I mean, the big headline from obviously the casting was Colleen Rooney. So what do you guys think? How do you think she's doing? Like, do you think in our office she's been voted most likely to win?
Really? What do you think, Fleet? Because my own point of view is just that she's a great signing, and actually I think she's come across rather well.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's, I dare say it, not interesting enough to win. I think that she'll come second or third.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I always think that it's not the big signings that necessarily win I'm a Celebrity.
I agree.
It's the likely lads, you know, like Dougie from McPhee, Sam Thompson last year. Neither of those were the big hallmark signings of the series, and it's because it's almost like these smaller minnows have to fight, and by doing that, it's by having a personality.
I agree with you, and you know, Colleen, the one thing that, and you mentioned this in the beginning, the one thing that I think that she's doing so well is, wow, she remains calm. Could you, I'm sorry, I'm going to speak for the two of you and the three of us and say that would not be our reaction.
But that's surely like a mum of 4 boys, right?
Yeah. I've already seen this in
I
their
deal
beds.
with clearing up this shit
Yeah.
constantly. I deal with the screaming. But do you know what was really sweet is today from Australia, her family have arrived.
Oh,
so
yes.
her mum, her dad and her 2 youngest sons. And one of the nicest things that they've actually said is, well, of course Colleen worked out the twist. So they were completely loving that
that's
she
really
was
sweet.
Wagatha Part 2.
That is really
But
sweet.
they also shared, and I just think that this is why Colleen will get the votes, that apparently the youngest boy, who's 6, has really, really been missing mum, has been struggling without her. And that's the kind of thing that viewers at home are going to be voting for.
But,
same with last night, with Oti
Yeah.
sharing that really emotional story about her premature baby. Not many people know that because she keeps her family life quite private.
Yeah.
And it's when people are sharing these real stories.
I liked that.
Like we say, that's what people love about I'm a Celebrity.
Well, yeah, what I found that I've actually enjoyed, first of all, my favourites are obviously the trials, but I love that downtime when people are talking about their home life, and you could see everyone jumping on when she's talking about how Wayne had written her love letters, and everyone's like coming out of the woodworks going, sorry, what? Like, not even in the conversation.
Yeah, she's dropped some absolute blinders. I mean, the story about them meeting Trump and things like that, and even on, I think it was on day one when they were talking about Wagatha, she's delivered some real gems along the way. But I still don't think that it she'll win. I think that I think I agree with Flick in as much as I think it might be someone like a Danny Jones or even. But what do we think to Dean? Because Dean's a bit of a divisive figure, but he might just end up getting the votes in the end. I don't know.